Donington Park. Well, Donington is one of Britain's sort of iconic circuit. It still has that sort of GP feel about it. It's a fast flowing track in many places. It's really like two circuits in one. You've got from effectively Redgate running all the way around to coming out of Coppice onto the back straight, which is kind of a higher gear, all really fast flowing, little dabs of brake here and there. And then you arrive at Foggy S's, and then the circuit changes into a very much a stop-start sort of drive to a hard brake hairpin and so on. So it's very aggressive half of the circuit, and the other half of the circuit is fast and flowing. It's quite tricky sometimes to get the bike set up to do the best for both of the circuits, which is an extra challenge. But Donington's features are really the sections running down, say, through Craner curves, really high speed, absolutely all about commitment on line and how much grip you've got at the end of the day. You have to be really comfortable in yourself, and of course as you're dropping through Holywell and dropping down towards Craner itself, really you can't see the apexes until you're just about to come on them. So it's that sort of blind faith and confidence in knowing where you're going. It's very testing trying to get past there as well, because even though the track's a GP width track, because there's virtually no straights apart from the back straight and the start finish straight, you're sweeping all the way down through these curves, and consequently you're going from one side of the track to the other side, so finding a point to get past people can be really tricky there. And again, it's all about commitment. Tricky section for me is McLean's. The approach to McLean's is really high speed up through Starkeys, where the Starkeys Bridge used to be, and Swants Curve, fast left. By that point you're scrubbing off the speed as best you can, bikes up full angle lean, and then upright, still on the brakes hard, into McLean's itself, the right of McLean's. It's only, the apex only really comes into view after you've more or less tipped the bike in, so it's kind of a little bit of blind faith of where it's all going, and that's kind of the tricky bit really. It's all too easy to tip in too early, and of course it ruins your exit. Bogey section for me is the last corner, Goddard's. Goddard's was effectively the chicane of the national circuit before they put on the extension of the GP circuit. So you arrive at Goddard's, and as you tip it in, effectively the camber change is almost like a negative camber, because you're dropping onto what was a right corner, now it's a left, and it makes it particularly challenging. There's a couple of little bumps on the approach which upset the bike as well, so all of it adds up to a tricky corner to get right. But for me, I never ever seem to, even though I go quite well around there, don't get me wrong, I never seem to come out of the corner thinking I've absolutely nailed it that time. There's always a little bit of I feel I can improve it a bit more. My first memories going back there into the early 80s, however, one standout memory for me was winning the first ever Supersport 600 race there in 1989. Tremendous race, and it was a great event to win. Prize money in them days too, unbelievable. The inaugural Triumph Speed Triple Challenge was a support race to the GP at the time. All obviously 900 triple Triumphs, and it was the cream of the crop. Everybody got on the bikes at the time, all trying to impress GP stars. It was a fantastic race. It ended up with me and Brian Morrison knocking lumps out of each other and having a fantastic race. And on the last lap we passed each other 2 or 3 times, and I just managed to get my bogey bit right, which was Goddard's, and it was all about getting past and getting underneath Brian. And Brian wasn't having it as well. We had a tremendous race, a lot of respect for each other, but it was a real standout memory for me. I enjoy riding Donington. It has its own challenges, but really you've got to experience it for yourself, so get yourself to Donington and have a great time.
Get on board for just $5 a month to see my exclusive content. But if you like what I do, you can subscribe on higher tiers for greater rewards.